There's never been anybody that wrote a book that personally knew Buddy. And I've been able to give Buddy Holly a voice, and where people can see his personality. And he was one heck of a young man. He truly was.
And honestly, this is a story about Buddy Holly that you have never heard.
For 20 years, or 25 years, I have watched them perpetrate, I think that's a good word for it, a story and a movie and an image that isn't true. Not that it was bad image, it just wasn't an accurate image. It made Buddy less than what he was. It just didn't do it. He was more like a Disney character rather than becoming real. And I've had people say to me, yeah, but you knew Buddy Holly, and because you did, nobody could ever make it real to you. Well, that isn't true. That simply isn't true. And I've watched Maria Elena. I feel that she's responsible for the movies that come out because she was the key person working with the writers. And there are things in there that have misled people, that have caused hurt feelings. Not only did I feel that way about it over the years, but his mother and dad did also. And so there were a lot of hard feelings watching all this go on. And the one man that, had he not been there, had he not been part of Buddy Holly's life, and who just really had a great deal of respect for him and thought he was a genius, was Norman Petty. And he was never, ever brought into the scheme of things. He was never mentioned. And in the book, when I write the story, you can see in the book that Maria Elena is blaming him totally for Buddy Holly's death, and it's just not true. Nothing can be further away from the truth. And so all of these things needed to be explained for once, all the way through, and connected, because Buddy's life was over here, and it was over there, and it was up and down, and this one came in, and that one came in, and this one played with him. And Buddy never refused to play with anybody if they were having a session. And if he could fill in, and then they could fill in on his, he always did that, which I think was his learning process. It's like, let me be part of the creation of it. And, when he said, I wrote Peggy Sue, when we were in New York, he said, I wrote Peggy Sue. And he said, I've hired 2 attorneys, one to get the credits straightened out on my songs, and the other one to get a divorce. I believe that, and I take that for the final word. So all these reasons, all these things needed to be connected. They couldn't be left with just up in the air, And I've had dreams, prophetic dreams, since I've been about 7 years old. And if I dream something the third time, I know usually it's going to happen at some point. Can I tell you exactly what time it's going to happen? No. But I'm usually pretty close with it. And I had been having dreams about the plane, them being in a plane, and I thought it was Buddy and Jerry Allison and Joe B. and the young pilot. But of course it didn't turn out to be that. And so there are reasons. There are reasons that these things continue on. And all these lines to the past need to be answered. And there's still some mysteries left that I want answered. And I think we're all old enough now that we can handle the truth. And so we've continued on our research. And that isn't going to stop either.
Again, I just have to say, I think that this is, in my opinion, one of the most important stories that has come out in many, many years. And I love the idea that at this stage that Buddy Holly's life and him as a person comes out as opposed to the stage persona. And I think that's maybe the most important thing in this book, is that you make him a human being, and for the first time you get to see what his private life was like. And anyway, I want to thank you for that. I think you've done a wonderful job on it. I honestly am honored to have been a part of this. I really am. So everybody needs to buy this book, Whatever Happened to Peggy Sue. You will see a side of Buddy Holly that you've never seen before. So I just want to tell everybody out there, if you don't have the book, read the book, buy it. This is a book that will present something you have never ever seen, and I want to thank Peggy Sue for bringing that to us.
Thank you.